she stood in the pouring rain, a single suitcase at her feet, as the doorman who had greeted her warmly for 7 years now blocked her entry. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Bennett. Mr. Bennett's orders." The black woman, divorced by her husband and left to suffer, watched as her key card was cut in half before her eyes. 3 months after their divorce, Victor had orchestrated the final blow. Evidence had emerged linking Zara to a sophisticated gem fraud scheme. Her accounts frozen, her reputation destroyed, her future in shambles. With nowhere to go and only cash hidden in her shoe, Zara checked into a dilapidated motel in the most dangerous part of Manhattan. What use was her extraordinary ability to identify authentic gems when the world believed she was nothing but a fraud herself? What happens when the world's most reclusive billionaire recognizes what no one else can see? And what dangerous game is he playing by offering her a lifeline? Speech balloon, have you ever had your trust completely betrayed by someone you loved? Like this video and subscribe for more compelling stories of resilience and unexpected romance. Zara was born in Sierra Leone and raised in America after her family fled civil war. Zara Bennett possessed a gift that made her legendary in the diamond industry. Her ability to identify authentic gems and detect counterfeits wasn't just skill, it was heritage. For generations, her family had been diamond traders, passing down secret authentication techniques. Victor Bennett had been charming and ambitious when they met. Their whirlwind romance culminated in marriage within 6 months. What Zara didn't realize was that Victor had married her for a single purpose: to steal her family's authentication techniques to create perfect counterfeits. The truth emerged when she discovered his hidden workshop. "You should be flattered," he'd said when she confronted him, his charm evaporating into something cold. "Your little tribal tricks are finally worth something." The next morning, museum security arrested Zara during an exhibition she was curating. Counterfeits had replaced authentic gems in the display, counterfeits that matched her authentication certificates perfectly. Victor filed for divorce the same day, publicly devastated by his wife's betrayal. She was released later, but her life was never the same. Now, in a motel room with peeling wallpaper, Zara guarded her only remaining possession, a small velvet pouch containing 4 authentic gems she had managed to hide. These stones were her last chance at survival in a world that had branded her a criminal. Each night, Zara sat at a small 24-hour diner, nursing a single cup of coffee while studying gemology journals. On the 3rd night, during a violent thunderstorm, a tall figure in an expensive coat entered, his face partially obscured by a hood. Despite his concealed features, everything about him screamed wealth and power. When the lights flickered and died, Zara instinctively reached for her suitcase. A hand grabbed her wrist, not the stranger's, but rougher, stronger. "Let go of the case, pretty lady," a voice growled. Before she could react, there was a sickening crack. When the lights returned, in front of her would-be thief lay unconscious, and the hooded stranger was sliding into the booth across from her. In the harsh light, she saw his face, the right side handsome, the left marked by a jagged scar that pulled his mouth into a permanent half-grimace. "Your suitcase contains gems, doesn't it? Real ones, judging by how you protect it." Zara froze. "Who sent you?" "Victor. I don't know any Victor, but I know a gemologist when I see one, especially one reading about advanced counterfeiting techniques in a diner where most people can't read at all." Before she could respond, he placed a business card on the table. "Kane Security Consulting. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. He wrote an address on the back. "Come alone, or don't come at all." That night, Zara researched Kane Security, a legitimate company specializing in authenticating luxury goods and developing anti-counterfeiting technology. Was this a trap set by Victor, or the first glimmer of hope in months of darkness? What would you do if you were in Zara's position? Would you trust this mysterious stranger with a scarred face? Sometimes the most dangerous choice and the only choice are the same thing. Drop a comment with what decision you would make. The address led to an unmarked building with extraordinary security. Inside, Zara found a state-of-the-art gemology lab that made the Smithsonian's facilities look amateur. Impressed, Dominic Kane had entered silently, dressed impeccably in a tailored suit. "Why am I here?" "Because I need the best," he replied, revealing 12 colored diamonds of extraordinary quality. And despite what the industry believes about you, Miss Bennett, you are the best. Her heart stopped. You know who I am. I make it my business to know things others don't. These diamonds need authentication. My technology says they're real. I need your unique perspective to confirm. That first day, Zara identified subtle flaws in 2 perfect diamonds that even Dominic's advanced equipment had missed. Impressive, he murmured. How did you know? The way light refracts through a natural diamond has inconsistencies. Tiny imperfections that tell its story. Like scars, she added, glancing briefly at his face. Days turned into weeks. Zara worked with a freedom she hadn't experienced since before her marriage. One night, examining a rare pink diamond, she froze. The counterfeiting technique was unmistakable, a method she had developed and shared only with Victor. This diamond, she said carefully. Where did it come from? A private collector in Amsterdam. Why? Because I know who made it. And I think you do too. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Who are you really working for, Miss Bennett? Dominic asked, his voice dangerously soft. I could ask you the same question, she countered. These aren't random samples. You're collecting evidence against Victor Bennett, my ex-husband. I think, Dominic finally said, it's time we had an honest conversation. Dominic revealed surveillance images of Victor meeting with known criminals. Victor Bennett has been on my radar for 3 years, long before you entered the picture. Why? What's your interest in him? Dominic touched the scar on his face. This wasn't an accident. For years ago, counterfeit authentication chips were used to bypass security in a private vault in Geneva. When the alarm triggered, the thieves used explosives to cover their escape. I was security consultant for that vault. And you think Victor was involved? I know he was. What I couldn't figure out was how he suddenly developed such sophisticated techniques. Until you appeared. The implication hung between them. Zara felt sick as the full scope of Victor's betrayal became clear. He hadn't just stolen from her. He'd used her knowledge to hurt others. I didn't know, she whispered. I never would have shown him if I'd known what he planned. Their fragile trust damaged, but not broken. They established new boundaries while continuing their work. Meanwhile, Victor accelerated his plans, preparing to sell his most perfect counterfeits at the Dubai International Gem Expo. A new lab assistant named Mira joined the team, taking particular interest in Zara's work. She asks questions about techniques I haven't shown her yet, Zara observed quietly to Dominic. Victor's spy had found them. Instead of reporting Mira immediately, Zara fed her misleading information, authentication techniques with subtle flaws that would cause counterfeits to fail. When Dominic discovered her unauthorized operation, their confrontation escalated. You think this is some consulting job? Some small security firm? Dominic yanked open the blinds to reveal the Manhattan skyline, the Kane Industries logo illuminated on a skyscraper. I am Dominic Kane. I own Kane Enterprises, all of it, and you've been compromising my investigation with your amateur espionage. Amateur. Zara's shock gave way to indignation. I identified your spy in 3 days when your professional security team missed her completely. Why didn't you tell me who you really were? Zara asked, her voice softer. People change when they know. They either want something from me, or they're afraid of me. I needed your unfiltered expertise, not your deference. And I needed to know I wasn't just a tool in your vendetta. You've never been just a tool, Zara. It was the first time he'd used her first name. As they prepared for Dubai, their professional alliance deepened into something more personal. Late one night, Zara noticed Dominic wincing as he rubbed his scarred cheek. Does it still hurt? She asked quietly. Only when I'm tired, or when the weather changes. May I? She approached cautiously. Her fingers gently traced the jagged line from his temple to his jaw. In that moment of vulnerability, they shared their stories. How Dominic had built a security empire after the explosion. How Zara's grandmother had passed down their family's Diamond Eyes gift. Their strategy was interrupted when Victor released doctored evidence, suggesting Kane Enterprises had been involved in gem fraud for years, with Dominic and Zara named as co-conspirators. He thinks he's won, Dominic said as they watched Kane Enterprises stock plummet. Hasn't he? No, because he's underestimated what we're capable of together. He took her hand. Are you still with me? Always, she answered, the word of promise that extended beyond their mission. The Dubai International Gem Expo transformed the Burj Arab's grand ballroom into a fortress of luxury. Zara entered alone, wearing an emerald gown that complemented her dark skin perfectly. Through her earpiece, she heard Dominic's voice. Security confirms Victor arrived 10 minutes ago. Zara watched Victor escort elite buyers to a private viewing room where he presented his collection of colored diamonds. The Crimson Emperor, Victor announced, displaying a flawless red diamond. 10 carats of perfect color and clarity. There are only 5 red diamonds of this size in existence. 6, actually, Zara corrected, stepping forward. And none of them are in this room. The silence was absolute. Victor's expression flickered from shock to rage before settling into a practiced smile. My ex-wife is unfortunately suffering from delusions brought on by our divorce, he said smoothly. These gems have been certified by 3 independent laboratories. Laboratories using digital authentication systems, Zara countered. Systems that can be fooled by someone who knows how to manipulate the testing parameters, someone like you. She performed a simple test that revealed the diamond's counterfeit nature. The buyers began backing away, phones already out to cancel transfers. Victor's facade crumbled. He grabbed Zara, dragging her toward the hotel's helipad. You couldn't just stay broken, could you? He snarled. On the rooftop, Dominic blocked their path. It's over, Bennett. International authorities are seizing your accounts as we speak. She'll still die, Victor threatened, pulling Zara closer to the roof's edge. No, she won't, Dominic responded with chilling certainty. Because unlike you, I understand her worth. Using the self-defense move Dominic had taught her, Zara broke free. Victor lunged for her, but Dominic intercepted him. Security personnel took Victor into custody as he screamed threats. You came for me, Zara said, the realization striking her deeply. Always, Dominic replied simply. 6 months later, the Bennett Authentication Institute was revolutionizing how gems were authenticated worldwide. Zara's reputation had been fully restored, and their partnership had deepened into love. I have something for you, Dominic said one evening, producing a small velvet pouch. Inside lay a rough diamond with unusual coloration. Zara gasped as she examined it. This pattern, it's the same as my family's authentication mark. Not impossible, Dominic said gently. Just extraordinarily rare. Like you. He took her hand, his scarred fingers intertwining with hers. Some flaws, he said softly. The black woman, once divorced by her husband and left to suffer, had indeed found a new beginning through a billionaire stranger's kindness. But the true miracle wasn't in his wealth. It was in his ability to see her authentic self when everyone else had believed the counterfeits. Have you ever had someone recognize your true worth when others couldn't see it? Share your story in the comments and subscribe for more inspiring tales of love and redemption. In a world obsessed with flawless appearances, true value often lies hidden beneath the surface. Our scars, whether visible like Dominic's or hidden like Zara's emotional wounds, aren't flaws to be ashamed of, but markers of our resilience and authenticity. Perhaps the most precious skill in life is the wisdom to recognize genuine value when the world has labeled us as counterfeit.